Welcome to the Breakup Recovery Podcasts by your host, Barbara Stevens. Discover the wisdom and remarkable insights of Barbara Stevens, breakup recovery mentor, author, and public speaker. Barbara offers programs and solutions for any breakup so you can turn your life around, create lasting changes for the better, and embrace life again.
Hello and welcome to Breakup Recovery. This is episode number 033. I'm Barbara Stevens, and in this episode of Breakup Recovery, I have with me Kim, who has kindly agreed to share her breakup story with us. I just want to also mention that there is rain in the background, so you might hear some faint sounds. So welcome, Kim.
Thank you.
So tell me, Kim, briefly about your relationship, how you met your partner and how long you were together for.
So I first met my ex-husband. I was in my early 20s and we had been friends for about 10 years before we got together, and we were married for almost 10 years. For the most part, I felt our relationship was really good.
Were there any other challenges in your relationship other than obviously the reason for your breakup? And we'll get into that a little bit further on.
There were. The issue of finances was quite challenging. His parents were and are quite wealthy, and during parts of the relationship where we had a child together, I stayed home for a time. This was agreed upon. There were issues of he didn't feel I was contributing financially. I felt that we should also be more independent from his parents, who kind of still kept giving him money even though he was a grown-up and working. And issues of equality in terms of he was the main breadwinner. One day I had said to him, do you think just because you earn all the money you get to make all the decisions? And he said, yes, I do. And at that point in my head I went, wow, this is not the relationship I thought I was in.
Wow. So Kim, your husband obviously thought that he was in charge since he was earning the money. Was that the catalyst that broke the back to end your actual relationship?
It kind of was, because, look, I would say I felt we were still very much in love for at least 8 of those 10 years. And it was at the point where I had started my own business. I'm a personal trainer, and, you know, our son was in school, and as part of our agreement, I was getting back to work, but it was in my own business. Yeah, me becoming more assertive and wanting, you know, things for myself to build this business and progress my career, that he had some real issues with that. And it was only at that point I began to reflect on how our relationship was great as long as I agreed with everything he agreed with.
So how long ago was the actual breakup, Kim?
A little over 4 years ago. So at the beginning of 2012.
And did you break up with him?
It's difficult to say. Technically, no. We'd been having problems and I thought we were working through them. We were seeing a marriage counsellor, which was not that successful. We'd probably been working through stuff for about 6 to 8 months before the end. And I'd been confiding in a close friend over that time, son's friend's mum. And unbeknownst to me, she was using that to her advantage. And when my ex-husband now said, we're done, they moved in together 6 weeks later.
Oh my goodness, so you don't think there was an affair before your actual end of your relationship?
Look, technically, nothing may have happened, but there was discussions. I know that for sure now.
Wow, so how did that affect you emotionally?
That was devastating. That nearly broke me. I'm a pretty strong person generally, but do you know what? It was the betrayal of her that hurt a lot more than the end of my marriage. That really shook me, because she was someone I trusted and I thought of as a close friend, and that was the most devastating thing for me, because, you know, I believe in the sisterhood. I believe we're all here to help each other, and that was pretty shitty.
So you broke up the friendship with this lady?
Oh, yes. Well, initially when she moved into the house, because she broke up with her husband 2 weeks after my ex-husband and I broke up. And friends were saying, oh, don't you find that odd? And I went, oh, no, I know she hasn't been very happy either, and this can happen. And she still maintained that she was my friend until one point where she mentioned that my son had slept over midweek at this new house she'd moved into, which my ex-husband helped her move into, and I just didn't think anything of it. And then she mentioned that he had also had the sleepover. And at that point, I went, okay, I think I know what's going on here. And I left her house and I basically didn't speak to her again. And they had both decided the best way to tell me they were together was for her to send me a Facebook message.
Not a public Facebook message? Or private?
A private message. I heard through friends that they had discussed it and decided this was the best way to tell me.
Were they afraid of your reaction?
This is what now I kind of look back and go, were you both being deliberately cruel? Because I didn't respond to that message. I blocked them both on Facebook because I didn't want to see or have anything to do with them. A friend came over and we sort of got drunk and discussed it all and just a messy time. But the next time I saw my ex-husband, when he picked up my son, I didn't react at all. And he had called this friend who had come over to be with me and said, what's going on with Kim? She didn't react at all. And that really hurt me, because it was like, do you want to see me upset? Do you want this to hurt me? What's that about?
He was waiting for you to react.
Yeah. And I didn't give him the satisfaction.
How long did it take for you to actually get over your breakup?
To be honest, it took a couple of years, and I've heard that from other women who have been divorced. They've said you hit the 2-year mark and you won't know yourself. Before that, it's really awful. I probably spent a lot of time in the first year. I like to joke about it, but partly it was serious. I was on the floor crying a lot. Not when my son was with me. I couldn't function very well. I had my own business to run. I got up every day and I did that because I had to pay the bills. But the first year, it nearly broke me.
So how do you think you actually did get over your breakup? Do you think it was just time, or did you do some things that actually helped you?
I'm a big believer in the Andy Warhol saying, I know that people say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. And time can pass, but to me it matters what you do with that time. Like I said, I had to keep working in my business. I'm a fitness trainer, so honestly, if I didn't get up and work out every day, I don't think I would have been in as great shape as I was, emotionally, not physically. So yeah, just doing that self-care and being with people who I genuinely did know cared about me and supported me and wanted me to be well. And even that took a lot because of the friendship betrayal. There were people my best friend, I couldn't trust her because she was still friends with my ex-husband, and she, did the whole thing, well, I want to stay friends with both of you. And she was the one person I had to say, you know what, for my own mental health, I can't. I need you to choose. And if you don't choose me, that's fine. But I can't have you still be friends with him and be okay with that.
So getting back to the physical side, you said you kept fit. How important do you think that is for women that are going through a breakup to maintain a healthy lifestyle?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important to me, and it's not just because it's my job, but to me, fitness and health is the foundation of your life. If you're not fit and healthy, everything else is harder. And it would have been easy for me just to kind of let things go, but as I said, it was my job. I needed to pay the bills with this activity. So again, I wasn't probably in the best mental and emotional state, but getting up every day and going, I have to do this, I genuinely believe that is one of the biggest things that got me through that first year.
And getting back to your friend, who did she choose, yourself?
She chose me.
Oh, thank goodness. So I guess you now, after your breakup, had some trust issues with friends, girlfriends, because of the betrayal that you endured with your friend then living with your ex-husband. How did you get over that?
That took longer. Mostly it was difficult trusting myself because for a long time, I felt very stupid that I didn't see that coming. I felt very stupid that I didn't see her betrayal or his betrayal in that situation, and it took me such a long time. I did end up seeing a counsellor for a period of time, and that was helpful. It took me the longest time to fully understand that if people are going to lie and be deceitful, they're going to do that no matter what. For me to have been hyper vigilant about every single future relationship was not good for me or the relationships. So it did give me, I guess, more insight and more caution. So other female friendships, I was aware of who was interested in talking to me and being my friend to get the gossip, because this was quite a scandal at the primary school where my son was in the same grade as her son. So it was interesting how many people wanted to get the gossip and hear about the drama. And it took me a while to realise they actually weren't interested in my well-being. So to sort those people out, it did give me, I think, a better radar for who's genuine and who is just surface level.
How do you feel now looking back on your breakup?
I feel so much better. I know how strong I actually am, and I've seen this with other women in the same situation, and it is true what one of my divorced friends had said, that 2-year mark, you just, it's not even like you wake up one morning, but it's around that time where you just go, look at the life I've created, and I love my life. My business has thrived. I have thrived. My son is doing well. I've come to a point where, and this was my goal, I didn't want to have that kind of visceral, yucky reaction when I saw him or her. I just wanted to feel nothing. We're not going to be friends. I have nothing to say to her, and I don't think I ever will. But getting along with my son's father, that's become much easier because I let go of a lot of the anger and resentment and expectation and how dare he and he should be like this. And I just went, you know what, you guys do what you're going to do. You're irrelevant in my world.
And do you think that's actually how you let go of that resentment? To keep telling yourself that everything is okay in my life and what you do?
I needed to get to the point where everything was actually okay in my life. It wasn't just something I was telling myself. And like I say, that took a couple of years. And one thing I really aimed for me, I didn't want that whole experience and those people to make me just close off my heart. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Kim, that takes a lot of work. So how do you actually get to that point?
Self-care. Look, self-care and self-compassion, just being kind to myself. And self-care is probably a pretty simplistic word, but, as I said, looking after myself, exercising, eating well, being around people who love me. It's pretty simple, but it's not always easy.
Exactly. It isn't always easy. It's not very easy if you keep staying in that blame game, because it could have gone the other way with you, Kim. You could have said, these two people are the cause of my distress. They're the cause of everything that's going wrong in my life. But you chose to turn it around and start to just focus on yourself. And in doing so, you actually let go of the hurt and the anger that they both caused you.
Yeah. Well, and I knew, like, by making them forefront in my life and being angry and railing against them, that gives them too much power. I'm not giving them that power in my life. And again, bringing it back to me and my world, in some ways, I think possibly some external people may have looked at that and gone, wow, that's incredibly selfish. But I have a child to support. Of course, I'm going to take care of his mother.
Kim, is there any other tips that you'd like to give other women that are going through their breakups?
Keep going. If it feels shitty now, it won't last. Really think about the life you want. If it's a relationship where you felt you didn't have a say, or it was all about, his life and his world, and, when we love them and everything's going along well, that's lovely. But if you're in the situation where it's down to you, and that can feel really scary, especially when you've got children to support, find strength in that, because you have the power to make your life any way you want it. Nobody else gets to judge that except you.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you for being willing to share your story. And thank you for talking about not giving your ex and the woman he's with now the power to change and make your life miserable and stay in that vicious cycle of hurt and anger. So, and thank you for your insights and your ideas. And I'm hoping that other women that are going through their own breakup can take some of your advice, especially to stay healthy and to focus on yourself and give yourself that love and encouragement and self-care so that you can rebuild your life and rebuild your life into something that you want. So thank you very much again, Kim, for sharing your story.
You're welcome. Thank you, Barbara.
If you would like to hear previous Breakup Recovery podcasts, visit barbarastevens.com.au. Connect with Barbara Stevens on social media with Barbara Stevens Breakup Recovery Mentor on Facebook and at You'll Be Okay on Twitter. Read further blogs, view webinar replays, and download your free ebook, 3 Easy Steps to Surviving Your Breakup, and much more at barbarastevens.com.au.